Howdy, bot shots. Beaming to you from Not a Financial Advisor land with not financial advice. It's Kevin with Metaverse Mastery, and today we're going for the drops. All right, guys. So grab your 9 Lives cat food because these things just keep coming back. We're going to talk about some bots too. I'm going to explain to you why I say that the queue system probably won't help everybody, but it will help some people, maybe including myself. Why I have that opinion and why I think that that is the case. As you could see, I did very well on the Daredevil drop. Luckily, I preloaded with gems, unlike my fool self yesterday, and now I'm able to get all of these. All of them have been delivered now. All 1,069 of them were triple secret squirrel rares, and so I'm pretty happy with that. No, whoever this was, I got this picture off the Discord. I thought it was kind of funny. Whoever it was obviously had something pending delivery, so we know it wasn't me. I got up at 8 o'clock for the drop and no luck. Tried at 8:04 for the rebound and no luck, but I stuck around till 8:08. I figured after that there probably wasn't any left on rebound regardless, and so I quit trying. But the situation with the queues is I've got some friends that are in the sneaker game. And they are trying to buy sneakers all the time on drops at wherever they're getting sold. Shopify, Foot Locker, Totally Famous Shoe, wherever they buy these things. Wholesale shoe source, I don't know where they buy them. But they were telling me about the bots and how they barely ever get any sneakers because of the bots. And they said that there are queue systems in place at those stores. And so automatically I'm like, okay, well, if the bots are bypassing the sneaker queues, they're probably going to be able to figure out how to bypass whatever queue VeVe puts in place as well. It may not be immediate, so there may be some lag time. And with each update, I'm sure VeVe will try to eliminate whatever weaknesses they see in the bots. CAPTCHAs will help because there won't be as many bots that are able to bypass the system as there are right now. Right now, it's really simple for people to run bots on top of their program, I guess, because I think they just have it on their phone and it just hits the buy now button when it appears. I don't know how their sniping bots work exactly. I know they have mint snipers and they have price snipers. So obviously those bots are a little bit more sophisticated than just hitting the buy button. They're actually going into the marketplace and automatically buying things. But we know that people can make bots like that because they do it with other NFT drops and obviously with sneaker drops too. I was reading and it said that people could go through the sneaker drop. The bot could go through and buy hundreds of shoes before somebody was even able to go in and pick out a size and then go to the bot purchase screen and complete their order. So the bots are obviously much quicker than a person trying to navigate the page and see what they can find on there, especially if they have a fast computer. But I have a few things that I wanted to share with you over here about the whole sneaker bot situation because I think it relates to the bots that we are running into here. And the good news is, even though I wasn't able to get any of these 1069 orders, somebody else got all those. I do have some gems preloaded, unlike I did yesterday. So maybe Marvel Mighties. At noon, I got to try for the Marvel Mighties. It's a pretty cool drop with the Spider-Man theme. I haven't been able to watch No Way Home yet, and I haven't watched Into the Spider-Verse yet either. Into the Spider-Verse, whichever it is. I don't normally watch the cartoons, but I feel like that might be relevant to No Way Home from what I've heard. And also, I need to go back and watch the old Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies because it's been years and years since I watched those, and I guess those are relevant to No Way Home as well, too. So I was planning on watching No Way Home in the theater. Maybe I'll be able to make it in time. I'm not 100% sure because I need to find time to watch those other movies before I go watch it. But let's go here. So here's somebody in Reddit because I was searching around for people's experience with bots. So here's somebody that was using a queue for their video game, and people were using anti-logout bots. So the type of queue that this was where you just had to sit in a queue, and apparently there was that would log you out after a period of inactivity, or it would verify that you were still there by having you punch a button or enter a CAPTCHA. And this guy was basically begging people, please don't use anti-logout bots. I know it's a long time in the queue. And so that's why you're using them, but please don't use them. So that's obviously one way that people were gaming the queue system. Okay, now I don't think we're going to have like an hour-long queue. My opinion is that VeVe will come out with some sort of a queue where you have several minutes to put your name into the hat, basically, and then they'll randomly assign the collectibles to whoever was in the lottery in the queue, as opposed to right now where everybody's just trying to hit the button at once. I think this will slow down their server load. This will help their server load issues too, because instead of everybody trying to hit a button at one time, it'll be spread out over several minutes. So that might help. But right now, all of the bots are competing at that split second. And so, they all have to be acting at once. In the future, if there's a queue, what they could be doing, what I've heard the sneaker bot people do from my friends, is that they'll have like 100 accounts and they'll have them loaded in an emulator or a virtual machine, or they'll have them loaded in the cloud. And then as soon as the queue opens, they go through and queue up every single account. So right now we have people on 3 or 4 devices, 5 devices running bots, and that bot goes and clicks the buy now button. If we extend a queue to say 10 minutes, that gives them 10 minutes to queue up as many possible accounts as they can. I'm not even 100% sure that they'll need a device at that point, because right now they're running their bot on their device. If they just have a bunch of emulators loaded up on a cloud machine or a virtual machine, whatever you call it, where you can have a server in the cloud and you can sit there and load up a ton of emulators, and you only pay for the amount of time that you use. So they could just be loading up those emulators for just a few minutes there and then queuing all those up. Even though you now are competing in a lottery, you're competing against a lot more accounts. Now, this might be beneficial for me with slow internet, because at least I'll be in a lottery where I could possibly win. But for somebody who has really fast internet and they're close to the servers and they have a very low ping time, I'm not sure that this is going to help you so much, because now instead of competing with just a few bots per person, you might now be competing with thousands of accounts that are all multiplied and queuing up to enter the lottery. So your chances may still be the same as what they are before. If you've had zero chance before, now at least you'll have some chance, because the lottery is some chance. So this is one guy that was using the anti-logout bots. And here is another situation. There's a service called Cueit that apparently people were using. Oh, this one is the PlayStation with using Cueit. So Cueit is apparently a service that they provide that is a queue provider, and people are always working on how to bypass that queue. So they patch it every time somebody figures it out, but then the bots come out with a patch against the patch. And that's obviously going to be the same thing that happens with NFTs. We see it happening with regular NFT drops. And now, we've seen it happen already with VeVe, where they come out with some sort of a solution. Whether they intend for it to be solved or not, I can't really get into that, but they come out with some sort of anti-bot software, and then the bots bypass it. Okay, here is somebody that was on Freelancer, and they were looking for somebody to write a script or program that allows you to instantly pass Cueit. And so this was just an example that I pulled up here because I wanted to let you know that people don't have to necessarily have a real technical background in order to get bots working for them. They could just pay somebody else to design the bot. It doesn't even have to be somebody in the community that already knows a bot is needed. Somebody will just go out and hire a programmer in order to make that bot. So this is somebody looking for somebody to bypass the Cueit waiting room page. And I pulled up the prices here, and 10 people were bidding on that job at an average of, what is that, a pound? Is that a pound? I don't know. You guys have different, there's like pound, I think is that the logo for pound? I'm not very well, geology is not my strong point. Anyway, 159 pounds. That's not really that much for a bot that's going to do as much as they can with a VeVe bot. To most customers, bots are the bane of online shopping. Okay, so this is what I have told you before. This is what I have been saying. This was in a New York Times article. I've been saying that even though VeVe wants to keep everybody happy, it really kind of is in VeVe's best interest that the bots do exist, because it makes things seem even more. And I've said already that I think there's enough people now that the drops will sell out in seconds regardless because of how popular it is. But initially, going through that first year where they were going for growth, and also even now, really any kind of scarcity is going to make the product seem very popular and going to make people want it even more. So if a drop sells out in 4 seconds, that's fast. If a drop sells out in under a second, that makes everybody's like, I gotta get it, I gotta get it. It creates this scarcity. That's the same thing that happens with tennis shoes. So here it says in this article, it says to most customers, bots are the bane of online shopping, but for sneaker brands and retailers, the relationship is more complicated. Thanks to resale sites like StockX and Goat, or think about our secondary market, collectible sneakers have become an asset class where pricing corresponds loosely to how quickly an item sells out. Sophisticated sneaker bots, or VeVe bots, which can cost thousands of dollars, are key to creating the artificial scarcity that makes a sneaker valuable and in turn makes a brand seem cool. It all raises a big, difficult question. If the bots lose, who wins? Okay, so another situation with VeVe is if I buy, and I almost did yesterday, I almost got one of those. Anyway, if I buy a Mickey collectible, I'm probably not going to sell it. So I spend my $50 or $40, whatever, however much it is that time. I spend my $50 and then it goes to my vault and it sits there. If a bot buys it, it's immediately going to go to market for $500, $600. So now people have to buy 500 or 600 gems to buy that. Plus, there's an 8.5% commission that goes back to VeVe. Okay, well, my video froze here, so we're just going to get rid of that. But the 8.5% commission on those Disney drops goes back to VeVe, and they have to buy so many more gems. So those 5.3 million gems that came in that day, only some of them were spent on the drop. A lot of them were spent in the secondary market. So people are absolutely making more money overall. The bots are going to spend that money. They're going to resell those gems. People are going to spend the gems back in the secondary market. Basically, it just creates this kind of wheel of profit for VeVe if the bots are able to continue doing what they're doing. Now, at some point, VeVe, and it's probably now, at some point, VeVe is popular enough that you don't really need the bots in order for that wheel of profit to keep going. But it will definitely slow down because a lot of the people that are collectors are going to just sit on those collectibles. And so you're not going to get those secondary market sales initially like you will out of bots. And bots are going to do that for multiple reasons. Number one, they need to fund their next purchases on the next drop. Number two, they're probably making a living from their bots. And number three, if they get caught with those collectibles, then they might get locked up. And we'll show you that that is what's possibly happening because VeVe does make progress. It's just that they're not going through in a wide swath and getting rid of all the bots. Now, can they or can't they? I don't know. I'm not a technical, I'm not a programmer. I'm not a technical guy. I have some ideas how they could do it, but it might hurt the business overall. Like KYC would absolutely prevent a lot of the bot action. People may be able to run one bot that way, but they're not going to be able to run 5, 10, or 50 bots. But the problem is there's a lot of kids on the site. There's a lot of people that are bringing money in from non-KYC places, like they've been mining ETH or whatever, and now they want to buy cryptocurrency and they avoid KYC, and they're not going to be putting their money into VeVe if that's the case. There's a lot of people who live in countries that are buying collectibles that are probably not allowed to use KYC on some of these financial sites because of sanctions and stuff against their countries. So it's going to eliminate a lot of users. So if you eliminate all the bots and all the users at one time, you know, that 1.5 million active users might drop down to 500,000 active users. And that might be enough to sell out, but it's not going to seem quite as scarce as it does right now. And the popularity might wane a little bit. You just really don't know. Now, I think that the licensed premium interactive AR collectibles that VeVe has is enough to make up for all that. But it's probably smart from a business standpoint if they do all of this slowly. Now, from a collectible, you know, from our collector standpoint, I don't like that very much. But from an OMI holder standpoint, it's good because the more fees get spent in the secondary market, and the more popular the site is, the more popular OMI is, and the more it gets burnt. So, you know, this is all kind of, there's just a lot of aspects that we don't fully understand, and VeVe probably doesn't even fully understand it either, so they have to proceed with caution. Okay, but here is something that was posted on Reddit. It says lots of botting accounts getting clipped today. This was by VeVe Scalper. Been botting VeVe the past month. Our group has been destroying releases, which makes sense because even 30,000 comic drops have been impossible to hit. Today we had normal success, around 700 checkouts, but afterwards we all checked our accounts and it seems like 90% of the ones that got copped got account disabled. I personally had 3 checkouts and all 3 of these accounts got banned. Just wanted to share in case you all thought VeVe wasn't actively trying to get rid of bots. Is this true or is this not true? I don't know. VeVe could be posting this themselves. A troll could just be posting it. Somebody who doesn't want the competition of people buying bots could be posting it. Somebody who's running bots and doesn't want other bots could be posting it. But let's just assume that it is real and take it at face value. That would mean that VeVe is taking action and is slowly eliminating a lot of the bots. It could be just so expensive for the bots once they get their collectibles taken that eventually they just stop trying to bot anyway because they're not making enough to make up for the collectibles that they've lost. But then that question rises, what happens to collectibles in accounts where people have been found botting, or at least VeVe thinks they're botting? Well, a lot of times when the NFT has an account disabled, when people have NFTs in an account that's been disabled, it says the collectibles are held until the user goes through KYC. Now, can they go through KYC on multiple accounts? Can they go through KYC on one account and then get rid of that account, go through KYC on another account? I don't really know exactly how their KYC is going to work, if they're going to be able to have multiple accounts so that they can get those collectibles out at some point in time. But it seems like at some point in time, VeVe has said, no, we know for a fact that you're using unfair measures. And so if they do retrieve the collectibles and take the collectibles back from the user, they will use them for giveaways, etc. And they do not resell collectibles. So they are being moral when it comes to that. They have an ethical practice. They don't want to appear like they have some sort of advantage to their company, or as if they have some motive, some financial reward for stealing people's collectibles, right? So right here, it's just saying that we're not going to steal your collectibles and resell them. If we take them from you because we know for a fact that you've been violating our terms of service, we will use them for a giveaway or something, which really may be worth more than selling them at that point, because those giveaways are good for bringing eyes to the brand and bringing people into the app. But regardless, they can use them for giveaways, and they don't have a direct financial gain from taking people's collectibles. So that's good. But anyway, I do think that the queue, like I said, will help some people. I'm hoping that they are fast enough with their patches and stuff to beat the bots, because nobody really wants to compete with a bunch of bots and then wind up paying a bunch of scammers a lot of money in the secondary market to get the collectibles that they want. It's okay for me if it doesn't quite seem as popular, or if it grows a little bit slower. I'm in this for the long term. I'm hodling my OMI and my collectibles. So I'd rather not compete with bots and have a little bit slower growth. But tell me what you guys think down below. Let me know if you are mainly into buying collectibles, or if you're also an OMI holder, or if you're just an OMI holder. And say OMI is my homie for the algos down below, and get to sub it.